back on my channel with Talking Oscars. We're doing Best Supporting Actor, and I've got my guest, Alex Howard from the Dark Room Podcast.
Hey
What's up,
guys.
Alex? Yeah, we did this last year. We joined forces, and we're doing it again. Hopefully,
Yeah.
my sound quality is somehow improved, but we'll find out when the video is done. I always sounded terrible last season, and hopefully, we've found a workaround. Um, So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually use Gold Derby's list, and we're gonna go through how they're currently ranked on Gold Derby,
Are we going from the
and
bottom to the top or from top to bottom?
top to bottom, top to
Okay.
bottom. People always kind of want to know. I think the good stuff first, and then they can stay for us making fun of maybe some of the picks that are in the 1 to 100, or whether or not we
Okay.
think they deserve a better shot than 100 to 1 odds.
Okay.
Um, but kicking it off right at the top of our list, we've got Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Do you have Kieran Culkin in your five? Are we you giving him a point?
Yeah. So I'm giving him a point. He's not at the top for me. You know what? I'm gonna change it. We can rank him. It's fine. Um,
Okay.
Kieran Culkin's my number two, I think. Lee and I saw Real Pain at the virtual Sundance Film Festival. I saw one movie virtually and it was Real Pain, and so Lee came over and watched it with me back in January. I do want to rewatch it. It's really good, and he is very good in it. It's just that I think his character is very similar to his Succession character. It's like very quippy, very fast, and I was hoping to see something different from him. So
Yeah.
like he won Emmys for that character. He's gonna be nominated for this one. But to me, that's really all I've ever seen him play is this kind of character. So it wasn't like a drastically, oh my God, performance because I've seen him do this before.
Did Virtual Sundance have audio description?
It did.
It did? Wow. Maybe I'll think about doing that this coming year. Um, Especially if I might end up seeing an Oscar contender like A Real Pain, which I actually have. I don't know if I'll be able to go to it, but I actually have an invite to a screening this week of A Real Pain. The question
Oh,
is,
great.
will I be able to go? And I'll find out in this week. But
Yeah.
maybe I'll get to see it, maybe I won't. But I do
He
also
is
have
really good,
Kieran.
and he's really good in it. But it's
Yeah,
just, yeah.
I have Kieran. I think he's been it's getting to be his time. I kind of question the momentum for Real Pain. Fox Searchlight does have I know that they're trying to pull Complete Unknown out of the last minute because they've kind of been told Night Bitch is not really a thing, so they were kind of left
That's
with Real
unfortunate.
Pain and or nothing else.
Yeah.
Um, and I see them trying to run a campaign for it. It feels like a small movie. I see some people trying to put it in Best Picture. This kind of feels like the movie that it could get Kieran only an acting nomination, or it might
And
get
it's a
like acting and
screenplay too.
screenplay.
Yeah, screenplay definitely.
Um, it could get like two, but I think it has a really low ceiling in terms of maximum nominations. So I don't have Kieran winning because he would basically be carrying the whole film on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to campaign for it because of that too. Because even though Fox Searchlight is throwing it around, I don't see a whole lot of other momentum. Nobody's going to try to put Jesse Eisenberg in director or anything like that. So, um, but
For
yeah,
people who
but
don't know, though, for people who don't know, A Real Pain's about they play cousins and they're going back to Poland to visit World War II sites because their grandma recently passed away. So it's kind of like a road trip movie with Jesse Eisenberg and Karen Culkin.
now I haven't seen A Real Pain yet, but I will say that there was a very similarly themed movie this year that gave a fantastic performance, and Stephen Fry basically did the same thing,
Was that
and
Lena Dunham? Was that her movie?
yeah, that was in Treasure, and
Okay.
I thought he was fantastic in that. So I would have, it's a shame that he's not in the race.
Yeah.
But it's funny we had these movies about family members going and seeing their World War II sites, and one of them seems to be registering, and the other one is like Was that a movie this year?
Yeah.
Like, did anybody see it? I don't know, but I like Treasure. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so number 2 on the list, since we both have Kieran Culkin, I just don't have him at number 1. He'd probably be, like, my number 2 or 3. I think he's got a really solid chance of getting it. I just don't think I don't think he's gonna win at the end of the day. Number 2
Yeah.
is Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Do you
Nice.
have Guy Pearce on your list?
I do. I have not seen this one, but I saw Guy Pearce last year at TIFF. I saw his other movie. I cannot remember what it's called. Um, and he was there doing Q&A for it, surprisingly, even despite the actors strike, he was there. But yeah, I mean, I hear he's great. It's a 3.5-hour movie with an intermission. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to see it in theaters. I feel like um the Scorsese one last year prepped me for the bladder control. So it'll
Yeah,
be it'll be great if a Holocaust movie can be great like that. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see it. And yeah, he's probably my number 4.
Yeah, I'm impressed with The Brutalist. It was made for $6 million. Brady Corbett got it for $6 million, and it's like
Yeah.
this huge, like, epic thing with just kinda feels like, how did he pull that off? You know?
Yeah.
You look
And
at
even
some
the
of these
trailer's
other
very
films, you look at, like, Argylle, which had, like, a $200 million budget, and The Brutalist had, like, $6 million, and it's just mind-boggling how,
yeah.
like, but, it is A24's last release, and I'm hoping it's more Zone of Interest than it is, uh, that Zac Efron's failed Oscar bait from last year, which
I love that
every
movie.
everyone liked
I
Iron
love
Claw,
that.
but let's be honest, A24 basically opened 2 movies at the same time, and Iron Claw went, like, nowhere,
Yeah.
which was sad because a lot of people
It
liked it,
should've.
but that and Origin just opened so late that they couldn't really
Yeah.
mount their runs. Luckily, Brutalist has word of mouth. I'm hoping it'll get there. I do have Guy Pearce. I'm really tentative about him being here, though. The thing is that if Brutalist, they also have to, they're committing to giving Sing Sing another shot, which Sing Sing is the kind of film that when you talk to people who love it, they absolutely adore the film.
Yeah.
So I feel like A24 has several titles on their plate, and they're bouncing a lot of stuff around, a lot of campaigns.
Yeah.
And while I think Guy Pearce has delivered performances before that warrant him getting a spot here, he's gonna have to be really good because I don't think in the last couple of years he's had a great performance. He even did like a Liam Neeson movie.
Yeah.
So, like, when you start like co-starring with Liam Neeson in his shitty action thrillers, you kind of that's kind of not a great sign for where your career is at. But when
I
I
do
think
think he
about
would've got
Memento, I think if
yeah.
we could go back in time, I think he would have earned a nomination for that. Like if we had some sort of Oscars where we waited 20 years to nominate people, he
Yeah.
absolutely would he would have earned a nomination for Memento for that version of the Oscars. It's just it'll be interesting to see how they take to his performance. So
I think The
I would
Brutalist,
say,
if the film takes, he'll get a nomination. Like,
yeah, I
the
think he's
film is gonna be
in.
a favorite. I think he'll his nomination will go along with the movie.
I think he's in. He's probably my number 3 right behind Kieran. I think they're both
Yeah.
probably pretty solid locks right now. So,
Yeah.
right below Guy Pearce, we've got Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2.
Alright.
Do you have Denzel in your top 5?
I do. This is sight unseen. I had seen Gladiator before this year. It didn't really hit for me. I thought it was whatever. And then I watched it again this year with audio description, and I loved it. It is so good, and I'm so stoked for this movie. Um, I am a little hesitant because Ridley Scott hasn't been himself, but first reactions seem good, although first reactions are usually always good. But,
Yep,
I mean, I hear he's great in it, but then I also hear mixed things, so, I mean, I'm hoping he's good enough to warrant a nomination. Because Denzel, I mean, when is he ever not good, you know?
sure. And
It's
I
not like
think
he had to do this movie for the paycheck. Like, he must have seen something in this movie like, "Oh, I can really dive deep into this character."
well, I think the thing about the critics too is, generally with anything, when you expand it to more people, beyond just the initial premiere and the hype around being the first to see a film, you start seeing more balanced reviews come in.
Yeah,
And so a film that seemed like, I mean, nobody thought Gladiator would be like a 99 Metacritic or anything insane like that.
yeah.
So I think uh, just the fact that Gladiator 2 doesn't suck is surprising people because most went into this going, did we need a sequel to Gladiator? Like, really?
Dude, The Last Duel was awesome. That movie's so underrated.
I did
And
love The
so
Last Duel, yes, and I really wish that that had turned in, some Oscar consideration,
yeah,
especially in best, I'm gonna guess supporting actress? I don't know
yeah.
if they would have run her in lead or supporting, but whichever one, I would say at least in one acting category. But yeah, I did like The Last Duel, it was in my top 10 for
Yeah,
that year.
and I feel like that
Um,
movie is the closest thing to Gladiator we've had from Ridley Scott. It's like, that time period. So,
and if
uh,
Ridley Scott if more people like Gladiator 2, I think there's that narrative that Ridley Scott has where he's never won before.
yeah,
And if enough people are voting for him to try to get him close to the trophy, he could end up sliding into the director race. I
yeah.
don't know that he can win against
All
some
he
of the
has to do
people
is
like
knock Francis Ford Coppola
Brady
out,
Corbet.
like, all
Yeah,
he's gotta do is knock Francis Ford Coppola out, and then, he's got it.
well, that was easy. Done. Uh, I think a lot of people have knocked Francis Ford Coppola out of that race.
Oh my god.
But
Have you seen that movie yet?
no, I've not. And
Okay.
I don't. Oddly enough, I don't have a screener for it either. It's very weird. They haven't asked me to screen Megalopolis. I wonder why.
Yeah.
But I have Denzel tentatively at number 5. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
he
me
could
too.
fall in and out of the race depending on Gladiator and how the success is. It is up against Wicked. However, it
Yeah,
is Thanksgiving weekend, so it has plenty of money to make. It has plenty of room to make money. And Wicked and
yeah.
Gladiator are very different films.
They're literally
So
gonna have Wicked and Dolby, and then Gladiator and IMAX right across from each other at the theater here. So,
yeah.
very weird.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The thing that I think why I have Denzel in and why I barely like slipped him into my top 5, even though I think some people are overhyping his potential, is it it screams Training Day to
Yep.
me, and he did win for Training Day.
Yeah.
Like, it screams for some reason, we like it when Denzel plays the villain,
Oh, it's great.
and, uh, I've heard he's playing that here in a big way,
Yeah.
and if it has Training Day vibes, I don't know that he can pull off a 3rd Oscar win for it, but he should be able to get a nomination.
There is someone
So,
later we'll talk about that I think should win, but I don't think will win, but we'll get to that.
alright, well, that's we got 3 people, and we agree on 3 of them so far, and so does Gold Derby. So who's at number 4? We've got number 4, Clarence Macklin, Sing Sing. Do you have Clarence Macklin on your list?
I don't. So I liked Sing Sing, I didn't love Sing Sing. I know Lee loved Sing Sing. It's a very Lee movie, but, like, it was good. I mean, and the performances were really good. I just weirdly I know this isn't when I see an actor in something for the first time, it's hard to say they're great in it because I don't have anything to compare it to, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd never heard of this like, and it's funny because in Sing Sing, I know a lot of the time they use, like, prisoners as actors in the movie. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's credit to the actors, who weren't actual prisoners because I couldn't tell who was real and who wasn't, so
Yeah, I think for me, the thing about Sing Sing is I don't know what the fuck A24 was doing with its initial
yeah.
release.
I don't know
I
either, they should have nailed it.
really just do not understand. I mean, there were major critics with followings, with mass platforms that were begging to see the movie. They were screening. that have far more than me, like major print publication people who are like, I have still yet to see Sing Sing,
Yeah.
and
Have you seen them?
it's no. The
Okay.
funny thing is, I got a screener invite, but it was New York, LA screenings, and when I sent a response to
Yeah.
A24, I was like, "Are you guys gonna do anything outside of New York and LA?" No response. I was
Yeah.
like, "Alright, cool." But it's like, if this is your number 1 thing, why are you treating it like like juror number 2? Like, why are you
Yeah,
treating it
yeah.
like you don't want anybody to see it? Like, this whispered word of mouth, it's not even on VOD, like, it can't garner, like, a word of mouth because there's, like, people so many it's like this mystery movie that, like, some people saw and
Yeah.
they really love, and other people are, like, really like, "Well, I'd love to see it. Where the is it playing?" You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess if A24 releases it again the thing about Clarence Macklin is that I think he has potential to win. I've heard, he's been doing a lot of press, a lot of FYC stuff for the film, and the reception and his story and everything is very compelling. So I think all he has to do is just get in to the race. That's all I think he has to do. Is I think if Clarence Macklin gets into the top 5, I think he wins. Because I
I don't
think it
know.
means
He doesn't
at
have much
that
name
point
recognition, so I don't know.
well, I
But
think at that point, we've gotten enough people to see Sing Sing, and
yeah.
then the remaining people will see Sing Sing. They'll see his story. He'll be up against Denzel for, like, his 3rd Oscar, Kieran, who might be the only nomination for Real Pain. The thing is, I don't think Clarence becomes the only nomination for Sing Sing. So, I think it becomes a little bit like what how Troy won for Coda. I think he comes along with something else,
Yeah.
like and then ends up sort of surprising people with this narrative win. But it's hard because it's either like I either have him at 1 or I have him at 6, just
Yeah, yeah.
missing out. Like that's where I feel like with Clarence Macklin is that I feel like he's either at number 1 or he's at number 6. So
Yeah.
right now, because I don't know what A24 is doing with this film, and they botched the release so bad of Sing Sing. They should be sending screeners to like every living person on the face of the planet in about a month. Like everyone should should be seeing this, and like they need groundswell because by the time they're trying to promote Sing Sing, they already have The Brutalist, they have Queer. I mean, they have these other films that they're trying to run campaigns for. Why aren't they pushing it now? So,
They
yeah,
did a
I
very slow
I don't
rollout. I think it
understand,
came
I
out
don't
in
trust
June.
it's weird because I think A24 runs excellent campaigns, but I don't know what they're doing with Sing Sing.
I think it came out in
So,
June limited, and then it took a month for it to get to Burbank, which is like usually it's like a week or like we are the limited market in Burbank. And it took
yeah,
them so long to get it to here. And then it was such a slow rollout. And I was like, are they just gonna spread this out all the way to the Oscars? And now it's not in theaters anymore. So I don't know what they're doing. Because it's gonna be crowded if they try and re-release it in Christmas. So I don't
yeah,
know.
and that's the thing, and then they're also gonna have, I think they have another movie at Christmas time also, along with The Brutalist. I think they're doing 2 movies again right at the end
Yeah.
of the year. So if they're trying to push out Sing Sing, that's like 3 movies, right at the end of December, and it's like, that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot for them, to try to so I think Sing Sing may suffer from just this weird sort of like, who saw it? Did anybody see it? Who's seen it? Did you get and then it loses just enough votes because it
Yeah.
has a really low ceiling when you think about it. It's not gonna get tech nominations. So the tech category, people are not gonna be talking about this film. It's just gonna be actors.
Mhm.
And, it has potential. It has so much potential. I don't know what A24 is doing. I'm keeping him at 6 right now. He's not in my top 5.
Yeah, same here.
But I but if I can see A24, I will jump on that boat immediately. If A24 is able to come through with a second swing, he literally will go from 6 to 1 for me because I think if he gets in, he wins. So, I don't think
I
there's not a
haven't seen it. I mean, I don't think so, but, we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's a narrative thing. I think it's like with Troy, like
Yeah.
with, when Troy won for Coda. That's what I'm saying, like, I think the narrative wins.
Yeah,
It's not always the best performance that
I
wins
know,
that year.
but it's hard for
Sometimes
me to I have the person I have winning has the best performance, even though I don't even know if they're gonna get a nomination.
alright. Well, let's keep going down the list. So after that, we got
Stanley Tucci, Conclave,
Stanley Tucci for Conclave. Do you have Stanley Tucci for Conclave in your
I do,
list?
I saw Conclave, he is very good, the movie is very good, um, yeah, I think he's gonna get in there.
I also do not have Stanley Tucci on my list for Conclave.
Um,
I think, at the end of the day, I've heard a lot of, like, Conclave is good, you know? I think he also has some other supporting actor contenders, coming out of that film. The film is basically Ray Fiennes, a bunch of dudes, and Isabella Rossellini, and I think it's more likely that Isabella Rossellini, even though she has sort of like Emily Blunt amount of screen time, uh, pops for
have you
her.
seen it?
I haven't yet,
Okay.
but, Isabella Rossellini's never been nominated.
Yeah,
Stanley has. So his narrative is a little bit different because there isn't that like, "Oh my god, we have to get him an Oscar nomination." I think Conclave's package may be Ray and Isabella, and Stanley may end up losing out to some other things that people haven't
yeah.
quite thought about, so much yet.
I think also Stanley, though,
So
he's had a really underrated career though too.
he
So,
does, and there are definitely some other performances that I think
yeah,
he should have been nominated for over the years. Even in stuff as sort of, like, silly as Devil Wears Prada, I loved him in Devil Wears Prada. I thought he was an excellent supporting he would have been a
mm,
fun supporting actor choice for that movie, for a very sort of effective performance, but, not to win, but just like a nomination. Uh,
mhm.
yeah, I don't have him I'm really excited to see Conclave. I loved, All Quiet on the Western Front was my favorite movie that year, so I'm
Which
really
one?
excited to see it. Edward Berger's first movie, All Quiet on the Western Front, was my favorite movie the
Oh,
year it
yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
okay. Yeah,
So, I would love to see I can't wait to see Conclave and Edward Berger's whatever
yeah.
Berger did with it. So,
When I saw Conclave,
um,
it was like about 3/4 of the way through, I was like, "This is good, it's not I don't know why it's getting all the Oscars," and then that last fourth of the movie, you're like, "Okay, I get it."
Jeremy Strong, Stanley Tucci,
yeah.
Conclave, 11/1.
So we've done
I have
we
my
have
4.
we have 4 for you and only
Yeah,
2 for me,
yeah.
or no, 3 for me. No, yeah, 3 for me because, I just don't have Stanley, so I had Denzel at 5. Okay, so, next is
Jeremy Strong,
Jeremy Strong for The
16/1.
Apprentice. Do you think Jeremy Strong gets a nomination this
I
year?
think he gets a nomination, and I think he should win. He's my number 1. I Okay, here's the thing, if Trump wins, this movie doesn't get nominated. If Trump loses, I think this movie should get nominated because he's so good. See, Jeremy Strong's performance is the thing I wanted from Kieran Culkin because he's unrecognizable. Like, I mean, he's also a Succession star. You can't even. He got rid of all the mannerisms. Just he is completely transformed, and I think he's just unbelievable in this movie, and he should be nominated. And I mean, as far as I've seen, should win. I've only seen 3 of the 5 that I'm picking, but
Yeah,
so far, he's my favorite supporting performance.
I'd love to see Jeremy Strong get nominated as well. And Sebastian Stan. I haven't seen Apprentice. I really want to, but Briarcliff just gives me so much trepidation as a distributor, as an unknown, untested distributor heading into
Mhm.
Oscar waters with a film that made like $3 million in the box office.
Yeah.
So, and opened in early October. Like it didn't even make $3 million at like Christmas time, where it's like closer to
Oh, they needed to put it
Oscars.
out before the election. There was no way they could have waited.
Yeah, but, I still maybe would have put it out, like, right before the election, like, as
Yeah.
the later the better, um, because it just like, that and Saturday Night, I felt like just died,
Yeah.
when they
Yeah,
opened,
Saturday Night died really quick too, yeah.
and, if there's a resurgence for this, great, but I just think Briarcliff and they just picked up something else too, they have, like, another film.
Yeah, it was the, Jonathan Majors movie.
Oh, yeah, 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 they
Yeah,
have the long
Magazine Zoo.
delayed yeah.
Yeah.
They're releasing that. So yeah, I have no idea what kind of Oscar. I mean, they were crowdsourcing the release for this film basically.
Mhm.
So I don't know that they have any money to campaign it. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold big screenings. It may just be them sending out screener links to everybody, and I don't know how enthusiastic that's going to get people about Jeremy Strong and Sebastian
If
Stan.
you watch
So,
it, I think you're enthusiastic about Jeremy Strong,
oh, I
but
agree.
and
I
I
think
think
he's incredible. When he was in the film with Anne Hathaway, God,
Jeremy Strong.
just like 2 years ago, that didn't go anywhere with Anthony Hopkins.
yes.
It
Was it
escapes my memory.
Apocalypse something?
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was terrifying in that. Like him, like trying to like kick down that door. I was like, oh my god. So yeah,
Yeah.
he is very a transformative actor, and he's not just the guy from Succession. So I would, yeah, I think it would be really cool if both Kieran and Jeremy were in
Oh,
the race.
for sure. I think it'd be great. And I honestly think like I didn't even think Jeremy Strong like he was good in Succession, but I think he's better in this than he was in Succession.
Yeah. All right. Who's next on the list? We got
Yura Borisov. Honora. 22
Yura Borisov from Anora. Do
Who
you
does he
have?
play in? Does it say?
I don't know. I haven't seen Anora.
Okay. I think
That's the
I
problem.
think he's the bodyguard. Um it's a really great movie, and I think he's good in it too, but I don't know that these other performances are so much stronger. Like I think it's a really tough year. So I have him on the outside looking in.
My problem with Anora is that I think there's more than one person running from Anora. Both of them are sort of unknown.
Yeah.
They're like lesser known actors, and
They're gonna have the
trying
same
to
problem
get
I just did. Like, wait, who does he play again?
with what did you with
Oh, like when they see the names, they're gonna be like, wait, who is he in? They're gonna
oh yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah.
don't know which character.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's us like we're I don't know. And then you're having to refer. Although FYC campaigns, I know we're blind, but they usually send out these things with like these face cards so that they make it real easy for you in these
Yeah.
releases. I remember I had a friend that was in the SAG nominating committee one time, and I saw all of the stuff he was getting. I was like, damn. Like their DVDs were fancy as shit. Like they were getting like if people only knew that they could get DVDs with like that much information, like just
Yeah.
in the case, you know, like these huge cases that like folded out and told like stories about how the film was made. I was like, that is
Yep.
that's a package there. But um yeah, it may be a little bit easier to figure out who he is based on however, and it's clearly Neon's priority. So I'm not gonna say it's out of range, but they're gonna have to differentiate these guys
Yeah.
and run campaigns for them, and I don't s I think it's Mikey Madison right now that they're
Oh,
focused
for sure.
on, Sean Baker.
It's
I
all
think
about her and
supporting
Topic.
if they get supporting actor, it just goes to show the love for Anora and puts it closer to winning Best Picture.
Yeah.
But because Sean Baker, they have sort of only tentatively accepted him up until now with that like lone Florida Project nomination. It just I don't know. I don't think he's gonna get into supporting actor. So
Yeah. No, I don't think so either.
we agree. I still have two
Yeah, me
spots
too.
open, and you have one. Are you
I
done?
don't have any.
You're full. Okay,
Yeah.
this will be fun.
Screened in.
All right. So next on the
Edward
list,
Norton. A complete unknown.
Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown.
No one has
Obviously,
seen it, but
obviously you don't
Edward
have it.
Norton's always good, so
And this is what I'm paying attention to. I've heard mixed things on Complete Unknown about who exactly is the good one here.
yeah.
Like
For
some
anyone that
people
doesn't know,
say
this is the Bob Dylan movie, right?
it's the Bob Dylan movie. It's got a great director. Let's be honest. He's incredibly underrated as a director.
Who is it
Um,
again?
it's um,
Mangold?
Mangold, James Mangold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, very underrated director. He did get Walk the Line, which was another music biopic.
I do need to watch that before this one.
Multiple Oscar nominations. So, and Reese Witherspoon got an Oscar from that. But the question is it Chalamet? Is it Norton? And I've heard a lot of things about Monica Barbaro, who I believe plays Janis Joplin. I feel like that's right. And apparently they're all good. Edward Norton's doing a voice here, and I am leaning towards Edward Norton because I think Chalamet is going to get a nomination, and I think maybe the supporting actress race because you've got Monica Barbaro is a little bit newer, and then I think they also have Elle Fanning is in the movie, so maybe they're splitting votes. Whereas I don't know who the other supporting actor would be coming out of this movie. Norton surprised me when he got in for Birdman. And I think Norton is an actor that they like more than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
So I think Edward Norton may pull a Birdman here. I didn't really think he deserved the Birdman nomination compared to some other performances that were nominated that year. I thought he was fine in Birdman, but it wasn't like that wasn't his movie. It was sort of like Emma Stone from Birdman. Like, okay. But
Well, that's the
those went
thing.
to
Like,
show
people love that movie. If people
But
are
it's because
love
people
A Complete
love
Unknown, they're
Birdman.
going to nominate Norton.
So I'm thinking if Chalamet brings along anybody, he's going to bring along Norton, who seems to slip in. It's been a hot minute since he's been nominated. So yeah, I would say he's my number 4.
I don't think he's in on mine, but I do think if A Complete Unknown is great, and if people love it like they loved
Jeremy
Birdman,
Strong,
he's
Leon
gonna get it.
Borisov, Honora, 22, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, 28/1.
Yeah. So I have him. You don't. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I still haven't given my number 1 yet. Anyway, moving down the list.
Samuel L. Jackson, The Piano
We have
Lesson,
Samuel L. Jackson for the
28/1.
piano lesson, who was my number 1 for a long time, and then people saw the piano lesson and they were like, "No." So
When does that come out?
What do you think?
When does it come out? Do you know?
I believe it's a November release.
Yeah, I think so too. It's on Netflix, I know.
But it may be
I
a
don't have any.
November theatrical, and then it does like a 2-week theatrical, and then it does this qualifying run, and then it may actually be on
Oh,
Netflix in December.
theatrical meaning like 1 or 2 theaters, and then
Right.
Because
Although
the chains don't play Netflix movies.
they play Glass Onion, so Netflix
No,
had
yeah,
to have a
that's
much
the
better
one.
deal
That's
with
the
Glass
one that
Onion.
they play. Yeah.
So we'll see if they can play, and if any of these get more than 5 or 6 screens or whatever.
Oh
But
no, they like it's either it's going to be Lemley and the Egyptian, and that's it. Like AMC and all them, they won't play anything unless Netflix lowers their theatrical window. They're not going to get played.
well, the new rules go into effect next year, right? About distribution, about the minimum theatrical. They're changing it so you can't just do essentially what Netflix is doing. You actually have to have some sort of like a minimum substantial release for a certain period of time, and it has to be broader than what it is. They're
Yeah.
basically killing Oscar qualifying runs is what they're doing.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I have to look a little bit more into the standards, but it expanded. It no longer is this, run for a week in New York and LA and you're golden. No, it's
I know
literally
Netflix is talking to the theaters right now to get a deal for like Chronicles of Narnia with Greta Gerwig, and hopefully Knives Out 3 next year. They'll have a deal. But
Samuel L. Jackson, The Piano
like
Lesson,
3 Daughters
28/1.
came and went, you know? Like
Yep.
it doesn't do anything to drop it on Netflix, and like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have Jackson.
I don't get it.
I think people just from everything I hear, his role is sort of like a nothing burger of a role. So, moving on.
John Lithgow, Conclave.
John Lithgow for
75/1.
Conclave. I don't think this is happening.
I thought he
think
was really
Tucci.
good, but I don't think it's I think if you're gonna pick somebody, it's gonna be Tucci.
Yeah, if anybody gets in, it'll be Tucci. Tucci seems to be taking up all the conversation for Lithgow. So, next on the list is
Mark Edelstein, Honora,
Mark
106/1.
Edelstein for Honora.
think he's
another
the
Anora actor. I'm gonna say the
I think
same
he's the
thing.
husband.
So I think the Anora actors have to figure out what the hell's going on
Yeah.
in their race. It's sort of like Sing Sing had a similar problem, and then everybody just decided it was Clarence Macklin and not um, ah, he was in Sound of Metal. I know he'll be on the list. I'm sure we'll get when
Yeah.
we get to him. I'm sure he'll be down there on the list. But basically, everybody just was like, Clarence Macklin. So if critics decide on one or the other, it'll help push the other one forward. Um, did one of them just get a Gotham nomination?
Oh, I don't know.
Because that would have helped. I should have remembered. I did a Gotham reaction. I don't think either one of them did, but that would have helped if they did. Anyway, because that's all about. It's all about coverage. Precursor words mean nothing except coverage.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
moving down, we've got
Peter Sarsgaard, September 5th.
Peter
100
Sarsgaard for September 5th.
I hear this is great. I think they want us to say September 5, which is
Yeah,
weird.
they do, which is weird, and I don't understand it. And I think we both watched FYC
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
where they corrected it, and I'm like, because it's
Yeah.
definitely like neither of us have been contacted by Paramount. So
No.
could you please stop calling it September 5th? Um, what I've heard is his role is pretty basic. He's not like him, and like none of these roles necessarily pop and stand out. But the thing about Sarsgaard, I would say he's not in my top 5, but he's in, like, my bottom 5 because he's never been nominated.
Yeah.
So, he's so easy to mount a campaign for because he knows everyone in Hollywood at this point. He
I would
just
even put
delivered
him. Sorry.
well, he
Go for it.
no, I was gonna say, well, he just had, his Apple Plus show with, Jake Gyllenhaal, Presumed Innocent, which he is likely gonna be getting a Golden Globe nomination for it around the same time. So it's not like people are gonna be thinking about Peter Sarsgaard as a person, as a human. So all you really have to do is mount somewhat of a successful campaign and stop pushing John Majaro. This is one of those things where you have to decide. You have to go, who's gonna get it? And be like, John Majaro is fine. He's good. People like him. But he doesn't have necessarily the feeling that, "Oh, shit, we haven't nominated that guy yet?" that Peter
Yeah.
Sarsgaard has. Where Peter Sarsgaard, you look at his body of work and you're like, "Really? We he was not for Kinsey? Not for wait, he didn't he get something for Shattered? No, he didn't get something for Shattered Glass? Oh, maybe we should vote for him." I mean, he feels like that kinda actor, so I think he's one who I feel like could surprise and show up, depending on how well September 5 does. But, what do you think on Peter Sarsgaard?
Yeah. I mean, if the movie is good and people like it, I think he'll go along with the movie. I would put him above the guy from Sing Sing just because of name recognition alone.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think Sing Sing needs the whole film to be campaigned, whereas
Yeah.
Sarsgaard, they could campaign September 5th, they could get a Best Picture nomination. Sarsgaard could be left out if they're still trying to balance a Sarsgaard Majaro narrative, which I
Yeah.
don't think they can pull off. It doesn't feel like it's a 2 nominee movie.
I don't even know. Do you know what the movie's about? I don't even know.
100/1.
It's based on the true story of, it's Munich. It's basically,
Okay.
but
Which I
told
actually
from
have.
told from a different perspective.
Munich.
So
I haven't seen the movie, but the DVD is one of 20 DVDs with audio description. Like before Blu-ray was around, it had audio description.
wow.
Yeah, I do need to watch it because I have it back there.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. So those are Peter Sarsgaard thoughts. Next, we've got
Brian Tyree Henry, The Fire Inside.
Brian
100/1.
Tyree Henry for The Fire Inside. What do you think about Brian Tyree Henry?
I
This
have
is from
never
Amazon, by the way.
I have not heard of this movie till right now. What is this?
Okay, so this actually, I'm surprised you haven't heard about this. This was originally sort of on last year's list. It was like an independent film with Ryan Destiny, Breakthrough Ryan Destiny. She was even being tracked for Best Actress. She they both just got nominations. Brian just got one for supporting at Gotham, and Ryan got one for Breakthrough. And this is being distributed by Amazon. I'm really interested in this. I want to see where it goes.
Is it on Amazon right now?
No, this is
Okay.
coming. This is Amazon's. This is one of their backups,
Gotcha.
basically. I think they have this in Unstoppable. I think they have Unstoppable. I could be wrong, but I think they have this in Unstoppable, and I think that uh, he got nominated once already for Causeway, which is kind of surprising because he was that film's only nomination. It's possible he could get one here. He's playing a coach, uh, and I've heard the film is good. I've heard he's good in it. It apparently was at TIFF, um, and I think this might be
Was
a
this the
sleeper
Black
movie.
Swim Team?
What?
Was this like the Black Swim Team movie? Is that what this was?
No.
No.
I think Ryan Destiny is a female boxer in the film.
Okay.
So, I think. But I will see a little bit more from the film when it comes out.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see more from this, and I'm keeping an eye on him, but I think Amazon is really trying to make Nickel Boys their priority, even though
Mhm.
Nickel Boys, I feel like, has really limited acting potential here. So,
Mhm.
and I think its first person perspective is gonna throw people off. But, we'll see what happens with Brian. I don't think it's a bad he's ranked fairly high on this list so far. He should not be 100 to 1, though. He should have odds.
Peter's
Yeah.
Kyrie Henry, The Fiery Side, 100 slash.
And he has 100 to 1, which is insane. Him and Peter Sarsgaard both should have actual odds. They're not 100 to 1. I disagree with that. Coming up next, we've got John Magaro, also at 100 to 1, who I wish would stay at 100 to 1 because it would help Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
But he probably has about equal of a shot right now with Peter Sarsgaard, depending on because that film hasn't opened. So Paramount hasn't officially, figured out. They feel like they're too close. They're not separating like Tucci and Lithgow are, or Macklin
Mhm.
and Paul Rassi. Remembered his name from Sing Sing. So like when you have those other films, you can start seeing who's number one and who's number two, and you can see them pulling apart. And I think that helps some of these people get in. We don't always get a Banshees of Inisherin year or where both the actors get in. And Barry Keoghan was not necessarily a front runner for that nomination. Brendan was always in first place.
Mhm.
So I think it does matter who is perceived as being ahead. And then based on the strength of the movie, maybe they get that surprise second
Yeah.
nomination.
I know it comes out November 29th, so once people see it, I think it'll be very clear who gives the better performance.
Yep. Moving on, we've got Adam Pearson for A Different Man, who I know the only reason he's ranked this high on 100 to 1 is because he just got that Gotham nomination. But I think A Different Man, that's Sebastian Stan's other movie this year.
Yes, I saw this one
It's
too.
another A24 film.
Yes. It is very meta.
Because they need
It
another
is
one.
it is more meta than I thought it could be and should have been. Like, it lost me how meta it got towards the end. But he's really good, but I think there are better performances, but he is really good in
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I don't have him on here. Well, we'll see what happens, but he'll probably just get some mentions here and there. Next, we've got
He's the one that
Paris.
he's the one that has the disorder, right?
I haven't seen A Different Man, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. You know what it's about, right?
No.
Oh, it's
No.
about a guy. He has like tumors on his face, like a facial disorder, and I think the
Okay.
guy you mentioned, he actually has it in real life. The I can't remember.
Pearson is the one who actually has. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see, but I just think A24 has a lot going on right now. So
Yeah.
I think to put it in a new way, I think A Different Man is the Iron Claw. So I just think it's gonna not materialize. They
Okay.
have too many
I
movies.
like the Iron Claw so much better than that movie. But yeah.
Next, and only because I like previewed the list a little bit because I know he's gonna appear again. We'll just go and do him twice. So, do you think Harris Dickinson is getting a nomination for either Blitz or for Baby Girl? Because he's on here twice for both
I think
movies.
again it's so hard because not only have I not seen either movie, but like unless you're at a festival, no one has seen it. I could see Blitz more than Baby Girl, I think, just because I think Blitz is more of a film that the Academy likes. I hear Baby Girl is almost like what's the one with Tom Cruise?
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, it's very, very risque, you could say. So I could see Blitz over Baby Girl, but I think we just have to wait and see like how they're received.
I think based on the early word of mouth for both of these films, and I've heard reactions to performances and stuff, he hasn't been the top reaction for anybody. Like nobody left Blitz going, "Oh my God, Harris Dickinson." Nobody left Baby Girl going, "Oh my God, Harris Dickinson."
Yeah.
So, and even in the case of Baby Girl, I have heard some really good things about people who were blown away by Antonio Banderas, who's also in the race in supporting actor. For Blitz, I do think Harris maybe has more better notes than like Stephen Graham, but I still think Saoirse Ronan is the one that people are talking about out of that film. So I don't think he's going to materialize a nomination.
Yeah.
He's young, he's got more time. He'll just keep accumulating good films until one day he finally gets one. But I know he's already got Triangle of Sadness. But anyway, moving on from Harris Dickinson, who's up for multiple films this year. So we've got
Pedro Pascal, Gladiator 2.
Pedro Pascal for
100/1.
Gladiator 2. This is not happening.
I love Pedro Pascal, but no.
I love Pedro. It's not happening.
I forgot he was in that movie.
I'm sorry. There's no way to suck the air away from Denzel Washington, and I don't think Gladiator 2 is a double nominee in supporting actor. I don't see. I think the Oscars are totally up for nominating Pedro, but good luck. Good luck somehow convincing the Academy you're more important than Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's already lost that race. He should be way down the bottom of the list.
Drew Starkey, Queer 100.
Drew Starkey for Queer. And at best, this film gets Daniel Craig. I don't think he's got a shot. Do you have anything? No. Yeah, I don't. All right.
Carlos Diaz, Conclave, 100/1.
Carlos Diaz for Conclave. I have no idea who this plays.
I wish I knew which character he played.
It's the third actor from Conclave.
Oh, I know who he was. No, like he is. Besides Ralph Fiennes, he is the next main character. You could say. But no, I don't think so.
All right.
His character makes the movie though, for sure.
Conclave, 100/1.
Yeah, maybe I mean, it's not a name I'm familiar with, so at the very least, it'll help him get more work.
Yeah.
So, I would say. Next up, we've got
Javier Bardem, Dune, Part 2, 100/1.
Javier Bardem for Dune Part 2. The Dune nominations are not happening. Can we just agree on that? Can we just?
No, we can't agree on that. I think with acting, it's not going to happen.
Oh, that's what I mean. That's what I mean for like.
Okay,
acting.
okay, yeah.
I should have said like because I know that we're gonna get the Austin Butler and Josh. I feel like they're all going to be listed on here, and I just don't want to have to debate each one of them.
Was great, but I don't think he's going to get a nomination. But no,
and the odd thing is, I actually think he has the best shot of any of the Dune people, and he's not even Javier's for some reason.
I would agree. I think he should be nominated. Like he's better than some of the other. Like he's better than Tucci, but no, I don't think it's going to get any acting nominations.
All right, cool. So if I'll mention him again, but we don't need to jump into every single Dune person on this list.
Jonathan Bailey, Wicked, 100.
Jonathan Bailey for Wicked. is he Fiyero? Like, I just I don't see that happening. Even though
Who?
Wicked, Jonathan Bailey, I think he plays
Oh,
Fiyero in Wicked. Um, and I just don't see it happening for him.
no, I don't think so. I think they're gonna
I
focus on the
think
other two.
they're
The
gonna
two.
focus on the girls.
Yeah.
Even if these early reviews for Wicked turn out to be true, I don't think he comes along in the package no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't see a package for Wicked unless Wicked just like is like 14 nominations and just
No.
like, well, I guess we'll throw in his way. So he is starring in the new Jurassic World movie, so his star is going to continue to rise. But moving down,
Wagner Moura, Civil War, 100/1.
Wagner Moura for Civil War. Why are we still trying to make Civil War happen?
Okay, Civil War
Especially in
is
acting
so good.
categories.
Civil War is so good. I don't think any acting nominations will happen. Ugh, it's still one of my favorite movies of the year, though. I love that movie.
Okay. I just don't think it's like this is like Dune. It's like why are these actors here?
Yeah, no,
So
I don't think any acting for sure. If we're doing any acting, it's gonna be Kirsten Dunst, but I don't even think that's gonna happen. Oh, you know what? No, actually, no. Wait. I was saying when I saw that movie, Jesse Plemons should be nominated for supporting. I am shocked that he's not the one that you just said.
well, we'll see how far down he is, and I bet he's probably higher for Kinds of Kindness than he is for Civil War on
I
here.
mean, he's the
So
lead in Kinds of Kindness, though. Like, he had one scene in Civil War, but it was so good. It was like one of my favorite scenes of the year. I, that sucks that he's not in the like running.
well, I mean, he's somewhere down here probably. We'll see.
Yeah.
Shea Wiggum, Fancy Dance.
Next is Shea Wiggum for Fancy Dance. I've seen this. This is nothing. This is a nothing burger of a performance.
What's it called? Fancy Dance?
Fancy Dance. I would absolutely love to see Lily Gladstone get nominated for it, but I actually liked her better in Fancy Dance than I did in Killers of the Flower Moon, because Martin Scorsese couldn't tell a story from a female perspective to save his life, but and has to tell it from a white male perspective. But so I thought she was handicapped the whole time throughout the film by the fact that it was Leo's film when it should have been hers. But Fancy Dance is very much Lily Gladstone's film, and she owns it, and she owns the shit out of it. She's fantastic in it. But Shea Wiggum does nothing in that film. I don't even know why he's on this list. I really don't even know why they
I've
put
never
this
even
on.
heard of this movie. When did this come out?
It's an Apple film. It's on Apple.
Oh.
It released in June on Apple. So
I have a hard out at 1:45, by the way. I don't know what time it is right now.
I don't even know.
Wait, so
Oh,
what did you think of Civil War, though? Have you seen it?
I have seen Civil War. I thought he was trying so hard to not take sides that
Activate to expand.
he actually forgot to explain some of the basic things about like what certain sides liked and didn't like. Like they were showing their press pass and sometimes and not in others. What time did you say you had to go?
Mhm.
1:45? Is that
What time
4:45
is it
my
right now?
time? Did you say 1:45?
Yeah.
So that'd be 4:45 my time, right? Because it's 4:15.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
Cool.
we can get through this. Yeah, so I wanted him I thought he was trying so hard to not play political that it actually sort of affected his way of being able to tell some of the way of how they had to navigate because it's not about like, okay, this is what these people stand for, or like, oh, well, you know, these people really wanted guns, or these people were, you know, against abortion. It's not about those things. It's about like, okay, so what do these people stand for in a way that we have to navigate? Because it seemed like they were approaching people in different ways, but
Yeah.
there wasn't really like a clarity as to why, like, they show their press pass one place, but then in another.
Yeah. And I lost you.
That's Civil War anyway. It's not gonna be in my top 10 for the year. Who's next on the
Your
Josh O'Connor, Shea Wiggum,
your video cut
Fancy
out.
Dance, 100/1.
did it come back?
No. It's just a black screen.
Well, I can be
Yeah.
heard.
Huh?
I can be heard, and it says turn off camera, but I don't want that to, like, stop the live feed. I'm worried to do that, and then to also so you will be the face of the
Okay,
remaining
sounds good.
we can get through these names real quickly and finish this. I
Alright,
feel like we're already down to some weird shit down here. Let me know if
alright.
anything sparks your interest and you wanna discuss it.
Shane Wickham. Fancy Josh O'Connor.
Josh
Challengers.
O'Connor for
100/1.
Challengers.
Nope.
Stephen McKinley Henderson. Civil War.
Stephen
100/1.
McKinley Henderson for Civil War.
Austin Butler. Dune. Part 2.
Austin Butler for
100/1.
Dune.
Harris Dickinson. Habitual.
Harris
100/1.
Dickinson from
Mike
Baby
Feist.
Girl.
Mike Feist. Challengers.
Mike Feist for
100/1.
Challengers.
Chris Hemsworth. Furiosa.
Chris Hemsworth for Furiosa.
100/1.
Oh,
James
that's an
May.
interesting
Simmons.
choice.
Juror number 2.
Okay.
I mean,
100/1.
it was a good performance, but he's not gonna get nominated
No, it
for
was
it.
for sure.
K. Simmons. Juror number 2.
J.K. Simmons is still in here for
100/1.
juror number 2, even though Warner Brothers has openly declared they are not campaigning that for awards season.
Okay.
So I like literally Gold Derby should just pull it because I don't know how a film would get nominated without running a for your consideration can't. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If the Oscars still nominated it and Warner Brothers didn't even like submit it. I don't even know if that's possible, like logistically, but
Willem Dafoe. Nosferatu.
Willem Dafoe
100/1.
for Nosferatu,
Okay.
which is getting screened in November. I know that's got critic screening, so they must feel pretty good about
I've
it.
been saying that's gonna be up for Oscars all year. People are like, "No, you're crazy."
Dennis Quaid. The Substance.
Nope.
100/1.
Dennis Quaid for The Substance.
I adore The Substance, but I do not think Dennis Quaid will get nominated. I would love to see the other 2 get nominated, but I don't there's no way Dennis Quaid gets in.
For The Substance.
That is one of my favorite movies of the year for sure.
Antonio Banderas. Habitual. 100/1.
Antonio Banderas for Baby Girl. I've heard he's really good. I think he should be higher on the list. The people who have seen Baby Girl loved Nicole Kidman, but also thought Antonio Banderas gave a surprisingly good performance. So
Yeah.
from everything I've heard so far.
Tom Hardy. The Big Carriers.
Tom Hardy for The Bike Riders.
Gladiator 2.
I don't think that's happening.
Joseph Quinn for
I also think he's
Gladiator.
lead. Why is he not a lead performance? Oh, I guess Austin Butler's the lead.
Austin is
I
the
get it.
lead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
What was the last one you said?
Joseph Quinn. Gladiator 2.
Joseph
100/1.
Quinn for Gladiator 2.
No.
Willem Dafoe. Kinds of Kindness.
Willem Dafoe for Kinds of
100/1.
Kindness. I think he would get it for Nosferatu if he was going to get a nomination
Yeah.
this year.
John Turturro. The Room Next Door.
John
100/1.
Turturro for The Room Next Door. It's been a long time
I've
since he's
never
been
heard of that.
nominated. It's Pedro Almodovar's English language debut. First film he's
Okay.
directed in the English language, which is why people are excited about it. It got something at Venice. It's kind of gotten a little bit of a like an A- reaction from critics, not quite the stellar winning. So it's floating.
Paul Rassi.
Okay.
Sing Sing. 100/1.
There's Paul Rassi for Sing Sing.
Richard Roundtree. Thelma. 100/1.
I don't know how all these people are above Jesse Plemons for Civil War.
Richard Roundtree for Thelma, which would be interesting. I see why he's on here. It's a posthumous nomination, but I still think June Squibb has a shot. I was surprised she didn't get a Gotham nomination, but if she continues to miss on, like if she misses Indie Spirit, I might actually think about pulling her. But Golden Globe would be the final thing. Like if she can't get Best Actress in a comedy at the Golden Globe,
Yeah.
then I'm just like, what is happening with this movie? So
Yeah.
Bobby Cannavale for Unstoppable, which is
Never heard that one
Jennifer
either.
Lopez's second chance at maybe getting a nomination.
Don Cheadle. Unstoppable. 100/1.
Don Cheadle also for
Michael
Unstoppable.
Pena. Unstoppable.
Michael Pena for
100/1.
Unstoppable, meaning they have absolutely no idea what Unstoppable is and who has the who has the better part. They haven't. There's no separation here. Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu. Ray Fisher for The Piano Lesson, who I've actually heard good things about more than I have Samuel Jackson.
Interesting.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman for Deadpool and Wolverine would be amazing.
That would be
That
good.
would be
It's not
that
gonna
would be
happen, but that'd be great.
amazing. Just for him to finally get nominated for playing that character for so
I
long.
heard he and Ryan Reynolds might be hosting.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Eddie Marsan.
Oh, that'd be
Back to
cool.
Black. 100/1.
Eddie Marsden for Back to Black. That's not happening. That movie was garbage.
Jack O'Connell, Back to Black. 100/1.
Jack O'Connell, no.
Michael Shannon, The Big Characters.
I cannot believe they're still in Jesse Plemons.
Michael Shannon for The Bike Rider. It seems barely in that.
Franz Rogowski, Bird 100/1.
Franz Rogowski for Bird, no.
James Norton, Bob Marley, One Love.
James Norton for
100/1.
Bob Marley, One Love. Why are we tracking that?
Benedict Cumberbatch, The Book of Clarence 100/1.
Benedict Cumberbatch for the Book of Clarence. What the fuck is that?
James McAvoy, The Book of Clarence 100/1.
James, why is the Book of Clarence on here?
David Oyelowo,
Yeah, isn't that from last year?
100/1.
It's from January. Like, they think all of a sudden that movie's gonna have like a resurgence. Like, it was okay. I didn't hate the movie, and I actually was looking forward to it because it was a follow up to the guy who did The Harder They Fall for
Okay.
Netflix, which was I liked it, but I thought this was a step down from his debut. I liked his first film better. These people aren't going to get nominated.
David Oyelowo, The Book of Clarence 100.
David Oyelowo.
Civil War.
Same film. Nick
100/1.
Offerman for Civil War. We got Nick
There you go.
Offerman above Jesse Plemons.
It's unbelievable.
Coleman Domingo for Drive Away Dolls. They're really
That movie was awful. Did you see that?
Yeah. There were some parts of it that I didn't totally hate. I've seen worse movies this year. So the
No,
problem
for
is,
sure. There are worse.
the problem is I
Definitely.
watch so many damn movies that I've seen shit like Tarot and The Strangers Chapter 1. So it like
Yeah.
in perspective, it's not the worst movie of the year.
No, it's not.
And in a violent nature, oh my god. Jesus, those three movies were awful.
There were some parts of In a Violent Nature had the best kill of 2025. I will say that, of 2024.
You wouldn't notice from the audio description, no? Like,
Huh?
you wouldn't know it from the
What was
audio
that?
description, no? Like,
Well, that one kill was described really well. The
not
kills were
really.
described well, but
I
yeah.
read a description of that kill that was better than the audio description of
Oh,
that
really?
kill.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I understood what was happening with that kill after reading about it more than I did the way that it
Okay.
was described. You're talking about the yoga kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Freaking epic.
Yeah. I mean, and the film has almost like no dialogue, so there's no reason to not have great audio description in that film.
Yeah, I agree.
It's basically a dude walking around in the woods for an hour and a half with intentionally underdeveloped people who are there to die.
I saw Hero.
Like, if somebody can remember one of the other characters' names in the films, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Anybody in a film. Anyway,
Christopher Walken, Dune. Part 2.
Christopher Walken,
Josh
Dune.
Brolin, Dune. Part
Josh
2.
Brolin for
Edgar
Dune.
Ramirez, Emilia Perez 100/1.
Edgar Ramirez for Emilia Perez 100/1. Now this seems really low to me, and he was what I was looking for because I was like, could he does the rising tide lift all ships? Edgar Ramirez has been around for a while, and they keep focusing on the girls. And there's a little bit of the debate of can Selena get into the supporting actress category? There was even a third supporting actress who got the prize at Cannes. They shared it with all four actresses from the film, and Edgar's been left out. And I'm really interested to see his performance and see why. I guess just because I hadn't seen Emilia Perez yet, but there's so much love for it, and he seems uncontested from this film in this category. And
Yeah.
I kind of think maybe he could get it. Maybe he could be a surprise. Like the success of Emilia Perez brings Edgar Ramirez into the conversation. Almost like how I don't think many people thought Ethan Hawke was in the race for Training Day, and then he just popped in. Like, hey guys, what's
Yeah.
up? So actually, I was thinking about Edgar Ramirez.
Grant Heshinger, Gladiator 2, 100/1.
When does Emilia Perez come out? Do you know? December?
I think that one definitely has a theatrical in November. So I think it either comes out at the end of November or December.
Yeah. Well, once again, all the chains, none of the chains will play it. AMC, Regal, they don't play
Grant
Netflix.
Heshinger,
But it'll be
Gladiator 2,
at the corner,
100/1.
like ArcLight.
Jimon Hansu, Gladiator 2, 100/1.
We got Jaimin Hansu for Gladiator.
Derek Jacobi, Gladiator 2, 100/1.
Derek Jacobi for Gladiator.
Paul Bettany, Here.
I'm so mad that Jesse Clemens hasn't been named yet.
Paul Bettany for Here.
Austin Emilio, Hitman.
I saw Here last night. Um,
I've heard mixed
it's
things.
it's a good idea, but
It doesn't seem
I
to
don't
be pissing people off the same way as his Pinocchio did. So,
know.
but
It's okay.
yeah.
Sam Worthington, Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1.
We got
100
Sam
Austin
Worthington
Emilio.
from
Jesus.
Horizon and Austin Emilio from Hitman.
Sam Brendan Gleeson, Joker. Foley
Brendan
Ivy,
Gleeson from
100
Joker.
Chris Messina, juror number 2.
Chris
100
Messina for
1.
juror number
Kiefer
2.
Sutherland, juror number 2.
Kiefer Sutherland for
100
juror number
1. Joe
2.
Elwin, Kinds of Kindness. 100
Joe
1.
Elwin for Kinds of Kindness.
Sam Adelathi, Kinds of Kindness. 100 1.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce that from Kinds of Kindness.
Josh O'Connor, Lee, 100
Josh O'Connor from Lee.
Andy Samberg, Lee, 100
Andy Samberg from Lee. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I should predict that. I'm going to predict Andy Samberg for Lee. For
I
Oscar
didn't get to see that.
nomination. For an
Did you
Oscar
see that?
nomination from a film that barely had a theatrical release.
Yeah,
No,
without for
it's the Kate Winslet film that's been floating around forever that people are like, "Oh, is it going to release? Is it going to happen?"
Yeah. I wanted to
Uh,
see it. I didn't get to it though.
It doesn't even have audio description right now on VOD, so
Alexander
we'll
Skarsgård,
see.
Lee, 100 Giancarlo Esposito.
Alexander Skarsgård from Lee, Giancarlo Esposito,
For what?
Megalopolis. Oh God, do we have Megalopolis actors on here?
No,
How many are going to be on here?
How is Jesse Plemons under Megalopolis? It's all right.
Lawrence Fishburne, Megalopolis. Shia LaBeouf from Megalopolis. Charlotte Copley from Monkey Man. Charlotte Copley from Monkey Man.
Josh Charles, Mother's Instinct 100.
Josh Charles from Mother's Instinct.
Mother's Instinct 100/1.
Yeah, there's some from others.
Nickel Boys 100/1. And David Diggs.
David Diggs for Nickel Boys.
Fred Heshinger, Nickel Boys 100/1.
Fred Hischinger for Nickel Boys.
Hamish Linklater, Nickel Boys 100.
Hamish Linklater for Nickel Boys.
Are they just thinking Jesse Plemons wasn't in it enough?
100/1.
I guess. Scoop McNairy for Night Bitch. Aaron Taylor Johnson for Nosferatu.
The piano, Corey Hawkins. The piano
Corey
lesson,
Hawkins for The Piano
100/.
Lesson.
Lucas Hedges, Shirley 100/1.
Lucas Hedges for Shirley.
Andre Holland, Shirley 100/.
Andre Holland for Shirley.
Terrence
Shirley.
Howard, Shirley.
Terrence
100/1.
Howard for Shirley.
Lance Reddick, Shirley.
Lance Reddick for Shirley, which would be an inspired choice because it would be a posthumous nomination for
Sam
him.
Waterston, the 688 100/1.
Sam
Sam Waterston, the
Waterston
688,
for the
100/1.
688.
Jeff Goldblum, Wicked 100/1.
Jeff Goldblum for Wicked. He's playing Oz.
The Wizard.
Yeah, the Wizard. I think he has actually think he has a better shot than Jonathan Bailey because it's Jeff Goldblum. I don't know why he's so far down the list. The role kind of sucks in Wicked. His song is terrible. But other than that, yeah, that was a hot take.
100/1.
I really don't like what is it? Wonderful is his song.
Stephen Graham, Blitz 100/1.
Stephen Graham is really down the list for Blitz.
Ed Harris, Love Lies Bleeding 100/1.
Ed Harris from Love Lies Bleeding. I thought he was great.
Oh, he was good in
Love
that
Lies
too.
Bleeding. What?
He was really good in that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Papanasiadu, The Outrun 100/1.
Whoever that is from the Outrun.
Joe Alwyn, The Brutalist 100/1.
Joe Alwyn from The Brutalist.
Alessandro Nivola, The Brutalist 100/1.
Alessandro Nivola from The Brutalist.
Ron Perlman, Day of the Fight 100/1.
Ron Perlman for Day of the Fight.
Joe Pesci, Day of the Fight 100/1.
Joe Pesci for Day of the Fight.
Steve Buscemi, Day of the Fight 100/1.
Steve Buscemi for Day of
I have
the Fight.
no idea what this movie even is.
Maria 100/1.
I don't know what that is either.
Cody Smith McPhee, Maria 100/1.
Cody Smith McPhee for Maria.
George McKay, The End 100/1.
George McKay for The End.
Martin Donovan, The Apprentice
Mark
100/1.
Donovan for The Apprentice.
Nicholas Holt, The Order 100/1.
Nicholas Holt for The Order.
Ben Chaplin, September 5th 100/1.
Ben Chaplin for September 5.
Jacob Elordi, O, Canada 100/1.
Jacob Elordi for O Canada.
Corey Michael Smith, Saturday Night 100/1.
Corey Michael Smith for Saturday Night. The one
I'm
actor
surprised
who
that's not
has
higher.
been standing out in reviews. Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy who plays Chevy Chase.
Brandon Wilson, Nickel Boys 100/1.
Brandon Wilson for Nickel Boys.
Vertical scroll bar, 16 pages.
That's it. Brandon Wilson is at the bottom.
Wow, Jesse Plemons isn't even on there.
Scroll bar, save and close.
So, yeah.
That's crazy.
That is.
Why don't you think he's on there? Do you think they think it's too short of a scene or what?
I mean, they have other people on there who, like, their films aren't even They don't even know how big the part is. They're just listing names. Like
Yeah.
you can tell they don't even know who some of these people are and like what they're doing in their film. Um, so I guess I was trying to think of who I had in because I'm actually missing a spot, and I guess I should have had. I guess I have to have Clarence Macklin because I said he was 6, so I guess I'll go and predict Clarence Macklin.
Okay.
Um, but I was thinking of somebody else, and I was thinking, um, I'm thinking maybe Antonio Banderas. I think was who I was going to put in there. But uh, because I think Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl is probably going to happen. So that's the other A24 film that's opening around Christmas time. That's another A24 has too many movies this year,
Yeah.
like they always do.
So what are your 5
They're like,
movies?
where's all the Oscar bait? Let's pick up all the films. I don't know. I'll go Clarence Macklin, Kieran Culkin. We've got uh, you got this long video. Guy Pearce, um, Denzel, and I don't know who's the other one. I know there's somebody else.
Gucci?
No, not Tucci. Uh, I don't know.
Norton?
No. Oh, Norton. Yeah, it was Edward Norton for yeah,
So
yeah,
mine
Edward
is,
Norton.
Tucci for Conclave, um, Kieran Culkin for Real Pain, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, Denzel for Gladiator 2, and what was my last one? I can't even remember. I saw 3 of them. Oh, and then I think I was gonna say Ed Norton for The Brutalist as well. Yeah. Was
Guy
it no?
Pearce for The
A
Brutalist.
Complete Unknown. Yeah.
Complete Unknown.
Yeah. He could have played a Nazi in The Brutalist. He could have done that.
It's actually just an extension of his character from American History X.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
So next week we're gonna have Leon, right?
Hopefully, I don't know. I have to figure out Zoom cloud server and what like how to access and get that and have more time with that. But we'll see. And it's all about his availability because he's taking his Oscar short around town, trying to hobnob, trying to get that Oscar short. He got a qualifying festival, so he
Yeah.
could actually get it. Like it's I'm half joking, but also maybe. It's like
Yeah.
stranger things have
Let's see.
happened. Like he really could end up in the short film category.
Yeah.
And considering the film, they sometimes I like films that have a message. A film about audio description may actually be the kind of thing, at bare minimum, that could get on a short list.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think just making the short list would change his life.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
he'd be like really hard to get a hold of, just like ghosting you and everything. And Dark Room podcast just doesn't. You have to find like a new co-host.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
off just being, doing his Oscar journey. But we'll see. But that'd be cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for being here. Thanks for anybody who stayed this fucking long as we read through Gold Derbies. I don't know why they don't trim the list. Honestly, if I had some of those asinine picks downstream and it got removed and I had to pick a new one, I wouldn't be mad. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if they took away
Mhm.
some of those for me because they realized that having too many choices was like I wouldn't have been mad if I had early on picked I don't know. What's some dumb nomination? I don't know. One of the worst Dune nominees.
Or the
um,
Megalopolis.
oh yeah, or yeah, Shia LaBeouf for
Shia LaBeouf, yeah.
Megalopolis. Who is still projecting that? Like,
Yeah.
Is there
Are you
anyone?
seeing anything
Can
this
they
week?
just delete him from the list?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are
Anyway,
you seeing anything this week?
am I seeing anything? I have screeners that I
Okay.
need to see. I'm sitting on screeners for My Old Ass. I have Chasing Amy.
Is that documentary? Or is that-
Yes, it is a documentary. I have the Kino Lorber Access port, but I don't think they've uploaded O Canada yet. So I
They
might
don't
have been
do
able to
AD,
see
do they?
that. Huh?
They don't do AD, do they?
Dude, most screeners don't do AD. That's what I like. I literally
No,
keep
I
requesting it
mean
every
Kino.
single, like every single time. I always respond with yes, I would love to, and please include the audio description track if available. I've got it one time, and it was reactionary after I reviewed the film without audio description. The filmmaker was like, "Oh, we actually do have an audio description track," and I was like,
Wow.
"Damn it!" So I reviewed the same film twice. But yeah, yeah, for the most part, it's just like crickets. I did. It's funny because I did get a screener for Late Night with the Devil, which I'd already seen. I wonder if I had requested that with audio description if I would get it because I know it has it.
Yep. It's
But
on
some
the
of the
disc. I have
other,
the
but I
Blu-ray
got
with audio
that. Yeah, I
description.
got Memoir of a Snail. That's why I was asking about it because I got Memoir of a Snail, and that one doesn't have known audio description. So there's really no point. It's a fruitless effort for me to email them and be like, "Can I have the audio description that I know doesn't exist,
Yeah.
please?"
It's unfortunate because I hear that one's really good, and
Yeah.
nope.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I got. So, and we'll be back sometime with more nominations
Cool. We
predictions.
we should be dropping a new episode of The Dark Room soon, either this week or next week. I think this week we're gonna drop it, so
Drop it like it's hot.
Yep.
Get the word out. And, all right.
Thanks for having me
Well,
on. It was fun.
yeah, always. Then make sure to subscribe to The Dark Room both on YouTube and his podcast. It's really easy. I just have it on Apple Podcasts. It's really I took me like 5 seconds to add the podcast to my subscription feed. So you should be able to do it too.
Yeah, if you're a fan, give us a review, that'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Anyway,
Smash that like button.
we'll be back, and thanks for being here, and I'll see everyone on the other side.
Yeah, happy Oscar season, everyone.
Yep.